Right now, as you read this, you feel like one single person, one eye looking out from behind your eyes, one mind in one head. You are wrong. There is someone else in there with you, a second presence, silent, awake, watching everything you do, and you have never once met them. This is not a ghost story, it is neuroscience, and the man who discovered it won the Nobel Prize for it, because your brain is not really one thing, it is two hemispheres, a left and a right, two nearly identical halves, joined down the middle by a thick bridge of 200 million nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. All day, every day, those two halves talk to each other across that bridge so fast and so constantly that they feel like one seamless mind, one single you. But a chilling question hangs over all of it. What happens if you cut the bridge? In the 1960s, doctors did exactly that. To stop violent, life-threatening seizures, they severed the corpus callosum in a handful of patients, completely splitting the two halves of their brain apart. The patients seemed perfectly normal afterward. They walked, talked, laughed, and lived. But a scientist named Roger Sperry began to test each half of their brain on its own, and what he found should not have been possible. He found two minds, two separate centers of awareness, two different sets of wants, living inside a single skull, and only one of them could speak. Here is the strange architecture you are living inside, right now. In almost everyone, language lives in the left hemisphere. The left brain talks. It narrates. It is the one that says I. When you think in words, that is the left half of your brain speaking. The right hemisphere is almost entirely silent. It cannot form words. But it is not empty, far from it. It sees, it feels, it understands. It has its own moods, its own preferences, its own opinions. It is fully awake. It simply has no voice. And the two halves are not even the same. The left is the logician, words, lists, reasons, one step after another. The right is the artist. It reads faces. It hears the music hidden inside a voice. It grasps the whole shape of a moment in a single glance. You need both, every second, but only one of them ever gets to narrate the story of your life. The other one just watches. So with a split-brain patient, you can show an image to only the right half of the brain, and the left half, the talking half, genuinely has no idea what it saw. Ask the person out loud, what did you see? And they will answer, honestly, nothing, while the silent right hemisphere is staring directly at it. And it gets far stranger. In one experiment, the right brain alone was shown the written command walk. The patient stood up and began to walk. When asked why, the left brain, which had never seen the command, did not say I don't know. It instantly invented a reason. I'm going to get a drink. It was not true. But the left brain did not feel like it was lying. It was completely convinced. It had watched the body do something it never ordered, and it calmly made up a story to explain it, and then believed that story completely. Scientists gave this part of your left brain a name. They call it the interpreter. Its entire job is to take everything you do and weave it into one smooth, sensible story called me, even when it has absolutely no idea why you really did it. There is one famous case that makes your skin crawl. The right brain was shown a snowy scene, the left brain, a chicken's foot. The patient's left hand pointed to a picture of a shovel for the snow, but when asked why, the talking left brain, which had only ever seen the chicken, did not hesitate. Oh, that's easy, it said. The shovel is for cleaning out the chicken shed. Instant, confident, and completely, utterly invented. And sometimes the two minds stop cooperating and openly fight. In some split-brain patients, one hand would button a shirt, while the other hand followed right behind it, unbuttoning it. One hand would reach out to embrace a loved one, and the other would shove them away. They called it the alien hand, a hand driven by the silent half of the brain, acting on its own private desires, directly against the wishes of the talking you. Two wills, two agendas, four limbs, one body, a quiet civil war fought inside a single human being. Welcome to Zao. Tonight we are searching for the second person hiding inside your own skull and asking the single most uncomfortable question there is, which one of them is actually you. Now, you are probably thinking, that is tragic, but those were patients with cut brains. My bridge is perfectly intact. I am one person. But here is the part that should follow you to sleep tonight. The two minds did not appear when the bridge was cut. Cutting it only revealed them. They were always there. They are in your head right now, this very second, as you read this word. Your right hemisphere is wide awake. It is taking in everything that your busy, talking left brain is too distracted to notice. It has its own reactions to all of it, its own quiet sense of self. It simply has no microphone, so you mistake its silence for absence. That seamless single you that you feel yourself to be is not a hard fact. It is a performance, a story your left brain interpreter tells, second by second, stitching two minds into one and hiding the seam so perfectly that you have never once suspected there were two. Sit with that for a second. The single most basic fact of your entire existence, that you are one person, is something your brain has to actively manufacture every waking moment. The unity you feel is not a given. It is built, stitch by stitch, lie by gentle lie, and as those patients proved, it can come apart. So which one of them is you? The loud verbal narrator that calls itself I and confidently explains everything, or the silent watcher in the other half who sees more, says nothing, and has been right here with you, unmet your entire life? The truth is harder than simply choosing. You are not the narrator, and you are not the silent one. You are the conversation between them, a duet so fast and so endlessly practiced that it sounds like a single voice. And the voice you trust the most, the one in your head that you call me, the one that feels like the captain of the ship, may be the one that actually understands the least. It is just the only one that can talk. We have crowned the press secretary and mistaken him for the president. And this quietly changes your entire life, because that interpreter does not only invent stories inside split-brain patients, it is doing it inside you, right now, constantly. Every single time you know why you did something, why you snapped, why you fell in love, why you chose this instead of that, there is a real chance your interpreter is just doing what it always does, making up a clean, confident reason after the fact for a decision that was made somewhere you are not allowed to see. You feel like you know your own mind completely, but a huge part of you is quietly making the decisions, while another part simply narrates them, like a sportscaster who is utterly certain that he is the one playing the game. So the next time a thought arrives in your head, fully formed, and you have no idea where it came from, consider that maybe it did not come from you at all. Maybe it was passed across the bridge from the other one, the quiet one, the stranger who has lived behind your eyes since the day you were born. You will never once hear their voice. They do not have one. But they are there. They have seen everything you have ever seen, and felt everything you have ever felt, and kept their own silent counsel the entire way through. They were there for your very first memory, and they will be there for your last. They have loved everyone you have loved, feared everything you have feared, grieved every loss right alongside you, and never once been able to say a single word about it. The most faithful witness to your entire life, and a total stranger. You are not alone inside your own head. You never have been. And maybe the strangest thing about being a person is this: the closest companion you will ever have is the one you can never, ever speak to. We spend our whole lives terrified of being alone, and all along there has been someone in here with us, sharing every moment, every loss, and every joy, too close to ever reach, and too silent to ever truly know. Maybe that is not loneliness at all. Maybe it is the deepest kind of company there has ever been. So tell me, down in the comments, have you ever done something, said it, felt it, reached for it, and genuinely had no idea why? Maybe it was never a mistake. Maybe that was them, quietly moving your hand at last. And know that I read every single one, because somewhere behind your eyes, right now, the silent one is reading along too. And for this one rare moment, you and the stranger are looking at exactly the same thing.